get across is either wading in about a foot and a half of water, which all of them found undesirable, and so they were forced to build a bridge together. They did it out of stones, as it turned out. But in that cooperation, social bonds were established among them. But then there's the issue, the different issue which you raise is not how we take people who and connect them who just feel sort of intimidated or strange to one another, but how do we deal when there are strong emotions that get evoked? That we are talking, and this is beginning to happen in our groups, as you know, people talk about one group or another and inadvertently bring in negative stereotypes, and immediately the other side gets, the other person in the conversation is offended. And the question is, how do you deal with that? And one possibility, as you suggest, is we simply try to, in some sense, repress or paper over those emotional dimensions of the conflict. But it can be quite important, and indeed, you know, councils of reconciliation, for example, as occurred in South Africa, have argued that it becomes important to address those emotions. And although, due to time limitations, I didn't discuss it here, it's something that we do say, that if you are feeling an emotional response to something somebody else is saying, that at some level this should be brought to the table. Our student participants find this very difficult, by the way. It's not part of normal conversation for them. This may be an American thing as well. But but then there's some instruction as to how to do that, that there has to be some acknowledgement on the part of the audience of that emotion. There has to be a way in which that emotion is utilized for a purpose in the context of the conversation. So you just can't say, you really made me angry and now I hate you. That you can say you've really made me angry and this reflects something about the way in which you characterize me and some problem we're having in this conversation, and we have to work through that. So there is a notion of trying to do that. Because there is a concern if people really are offended, if they really are angry, that they sort of essentially exit the conversation, even if they're still sitting there. And so we are concerned about that part of it and do try to work with it.
¿No hay más preguntas? Bueno, le agradecemos al profesor Rosenberg la charla, que ha sido muy interesante y ha despertado la inquietud del público, lo cual es muy positivo. Muchísimas gracias.
Y gracias a ustedes.